The field is blooming in an absolute rainbow, so I'm going to take you around the farm. We're going to harvest some things. Let's go. This season, we're proud to partner with Advancing Eco-Agriculture, providing regenerative solutions for growers, and greencoverseed.com. Let's take a walk, see what's blooming today. We have a really colorful mix of stuff coming in, a lot of natives that are absolutely shining right now, as well as some of the ones we started from seeds. So a nice little mix of perennials and annuals blooming at this time of year. So I've got my bucket of clean water and my clippers. You could use, a floral food in your water if you prefer. I just usually keep my water changed daily. That seems to be the best, just to keep the bacterial growth down. Looking pretty good over here. We got some Feverfew. I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna go and harvest actually the Feverfew from the field. We do have some perennial bronze fennel over there that actually could be cute. So let's grab some of that. For fennel, I wanna make sure, and really any of these umbral flowers, I like to make sure I'm harvesting when these flowers are open. If they're closed like this still, they're gonna wilt. Ideally when we're cutting sunflowers, and I like them honestly when they're kind of wild like this because they grow smaller. And sometimes the smaller sunflowers are nicer than the huge ones because the huge ones can be really hard to use in an arrangement. They can be a little bit domineering. So we'll cut a few of these. And usually I try to cut them, oh, little ladybug. I try to cut them when the heads are still tight, kind of like this. But since I'm doing a bouquet and we want to see all the colors, I'll cut it open. But if you can cut it just as the petal, oops, sorry, little ladybuggy. If you can cut it just as the petals are starting to lift from the center of the flower, you'll get the best vase life. All right, roses are starting to get ravaged by Japanese beetles. We do have a video about how we manage them. But yeah, at this time of year, it's just kind of, we're trying to pick them off as quickly as we can. You can see there's already a couple in here. So, but there are still some that I can harvest. So this is Lady of Shallot. I love this rose. It's such a pretty peachy color. And I'm gonna cut it nice and far down because that's gonna actually help us get long stems next. If we deadhead it too high, then the next stems will be short. So it is a little painful to cut this much of a rose, but that's what we have to do to get those nice long stems. And I usually just nip off the thorns with my clippers. There are rose thorn strippers. I just find that does a lot of damage to the stem, so I don't particularly like to use them. So most of the roses that we grow are fairly non-thorny. That's why I grow them. I specifically select ones that don't have a ton of thorns. So if this is for a bride, then I might do a little more dethorning if someone is going to be holding this in their hand all day. So ideally we're harvesting garden roses just about this stage. But of course there's always multiple on one head, so I'll just deadhead any that are about to shatter or that already have shattered, like this one. Just take that off. And then we've got the ones that are still blooming. I need to take care of these walking onions. They are going to start walking and I don't particularly want them to do that. So I love these though. These are so cool. The Egyptian walking onions. I originally planted them around the roses to help as kind of an allium pest control. But they're just so architecturally interesting. Oh, it's getting hot. It's only 9 a.m. This is why I usually do all my harvesting early in the day. Okay, snaps. Ah! Oh my goodness, the snaps. The snaps are going crazy. A few different varieties here blooming. We've got the chantilly salmon. These will probably kind of fizzle out after this flush. I need to come through and deadhead all of these. And then these are the double frappe light pink from Johnny's. I love these ones and they smell really good. They kind of remind me of a Madame Butterfly, but they're not, but they smell like one. And then we have these, which are the Madame Butterfly Cherry Bronze, which tend to be, again, they have that kind of azalea-like ruffle, but I really like these ones. So let's get some of these. I always just leave all the leaves and organic matter here in the field. Again, if it's not diseased. The Snapdragons too are prone to rust. They usually get it here kind of as they start to fizzle out. But these ones don't have it yet. These are a little bit past to where I normally would harvest them just because it's been so hot. And I left a lot of them in the field for our U-pick this last weekend. which was very fun. I love U-picks. Everyone loves U-picks. It's just so fun to come out here and get to harvest for themselves. People really enjoy it. All right, I'm gonna grab some of these. Oh, you know when you stand up after you've been harvesting for a while? Oh, I need to pinch these lizzies today too. All our snaps. Oh, homegrown Snapdragons smell so good. The ones you buy at the grocery store don't have the scent, but these ones do. You can see our fennel, like I said, these ones. See how they start to wilt because they're not fully open, but this one's still okay. All right, let's keep harvesting, but I'm gonna put this bucket in the shade because it is getting warm. I talked about this plant in our last video, the New Jersey tea that was actually originally used as tea. So this assassin bug is eating this wasp. And then for some reason, there's all these other little bugs flying around. Oh, he got annoyed. All right, here's our New Jersey tea. So cute little white blooms. Tons of beneficial insects all over. You can see, look at how much activity all over all these guys. The bumblebees, a bunch of little parasitic wasps I see on here, pirate bugs. Great, great, great plant for beneficial, way better than sweet alyssum. Sweet alyssum is always recommended as an inner plant. To me, it's just not the best option. There's so many natives that attract better, a wider range of beneficial insects. All right, so we've got some of these. Here's a dahlia. People are always scared to cut their dahlias as far down as you need to, but really to keep them producing long stems, you gotta cut them down. So we'll do that with this guy. Pretty bucket. Now we have a ton of Feverfew to harvest, so I'm gonna get some of this. So sometimes if you don't want it reseeding, that's when it's a good idea to cut it back, use it for something. Feverfew does have some medicinal purposes too, especially with things like headaches, migraines. Tons of bee balm down here. I love this Rudbeckia, it's one of my favorites. It's Rudbeckia sahara with all these ruffles. Comes in a couple different kind of tones throughout the season, but I always do wiggle tests with these first, just like a zinnia. So if they wiggle like this, they're not ready yet. Let's see if these ones down here are. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, I don't know, this one's probably good. Let's go ahead and cut that one. Bee balm, oh, here's one of my favorite bee balms, bee balm lambada. Looks like a little Dr. Seuss how it stacks. And then this is the other straight native form of bee balm, which is definitely more popular with the pollinators. I mean, you can see all the little bumbles, all the beneficials all over this one. Compared to the lambada, not as popular. Not as popular as the regular bee balm, which honestly is pretty typical for natives, that we find that the straight natives are more attractive to the pollinators. So let's cut some of this. I have a ton, so I don't feel bad cutting some. Obviously, if you only had a little bit, you'd maybe want to save it for these guys because they need it more than we do. But actually, by cutting this back, I'll probably get a second flush. All right, down here is some more of my favorites. Let's get some of this blue Delphinium. Do you see it over here? I showed it the other day on another video and how much the swallowtails love this one. Okay, bindweed, I gotta get in here. Look at the salvia, has reseeded everywhere. Let's get some of that. And some blue Delphinium, some more Rudbeckia. These ones are nice and stiff, so let's go ahead and cut one of those. Cute, cute, cute. Let's get some of the yarrow. This is firefly peach. Probably do a big harvest of this here in the next couple weeks and do another yarrow cloud, so I can show you guys how we did that. I love the kind of yellow to peachy color, and it does dry kind of to a yellow, a light yellow. Usually the best ones for drying are the straight yellow yarrow. Dripping off most of these lower leaves here in the field. Actually, often when I'm doing the yarrow, I will often save the leaves because those can be dried and used as a styptic powder, which means helps stop bleeding. So we keep it in our first aid kit for our kids. Let's go get some dahlias and some drumstick allium, and then I think we're good. Oh, this borage is just going crazy. Oh, the echinacea, I forgot the echinacea. This is what happens is I come out to harvest and I think, oh, I'm just gonna grab like a couple things and this and that, and then I see everything and then I end up harvesting just a huge bucket. So, oops. Let's take a look at the echinacea. So we've got this white swan echinacea, but I think maybe I'll do some pink. The boys are hungry. I know, I will feed ya. You gotta cut down into the dahlias. And it always is scary. You know, people get like, I don't want to cut all the way down into this plant, but that's what creates those long stems. Look at that little swallowtail over there on the echinacea. What a happy butterflies. So I'm reaching down, cutting nice and long stems, and also deadheading any as I'm coming through, that are starting to go to seed. Here's our blue glow echinops starting to bloom, and you can see how it does kind of almost look like it's glowing once it turns its blue. They do have a bit of a thistle-like appearance. They're in the thistle family. Let's grab some of these. And the ladybugs love this plant. And this one's actually not native to my area, but the ladybugs do love it. And it's not aggressive, at least for me. It's not a spreader, but again, I do try to deadhead this one. Grab some allium here. Okay. And some Scabiosa. We'll grab last. So there's an annual Scabiosa and there's a perennial Scabiosa. The annual Scabiosa is actually a little bit more of a pain to harvest in my personal opinion. It goes to seed fairly quickly, and also it's kind of very branchy, which can make it a little bit tricky, versus this perennial Scabiosa, which has nice long stems. I love the inside of this one, it's really interesting. So you can see how long the stem is on this one. Very easy harvest. Here's some more growing down here. Peony meadow is looking better. I did weed out all that invasive grass. It took me almost a full day to do, but we did it. I'm gonna be addressing this section this coming week here in a video, talking about filling in gaps in the garden, and how you can cover crop at this time of year to fill in any gaps in the garden. So tune in for that one this week. All right, let's pop these in our bucket and we're gonna assemble our bouquet. Ooh, nice and cool in the barn. So because what I harvested is pretty much all rainbow colors, I had the idea to put together a rainbow bouquet. So I'm going to start by grouping by colors. I grouped the blues first, then I'm doing kind of the reds and oranges together, so the snapdragons and roses. Then I'm going to combine my pinks, so dahlias, echinacea, that pink snapdragon color. Then I'll move into kind of the yellows, into even the greens. So I've got sunflowers, Feverfew, Yarrow, Rudbeckia, oh, and some Bupleurum. I forgot to show that. Then we've got the purples, so bee balm, those drumstick allium, the salvia. And then I'm just going to basically combine them by color groups. So as you can see, I've just got them bundled, and then I'm just layering them all right next to each other to make one big bouquet. This thing is huge. It's also very colorful and pretty. If I wanted to, I could just tie it like this, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it and put it into a vase so that I can display it in my house. And that's it for today, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything I showed today, and if there's anything you want to see in upcoming videos, please let me know, and don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot, guys. We'll see you around here next time at the farm.